Hello, sports fans, and welcome. Welcome to episode 235 of the Guru Talkin Sports podcast. I am your host, the Guru of Sports. Well, there's only a couple things I want to talk to you about today. One of them is Tua. You know, we all witnessed the unfortunate circumstances that happened to Tua on Thursday between Buffalo and Miami. And when do you think is the time? You know, I know that a lot of talking heads and sports people said, hey, you know, it's time when he says it's time. But do you think the Miami organization will do the right thing and say it's time for him to, hang it up? You know, if he walked out today, you'd be losing a lot of money. You know, I understand that. But, you know, your health is the most important thing. You know, money is good. You definitely want to have money to survive and to take care of your family and everything, to create generational wealth for your family. But the thing about it is that for me, is it worth dying for? Or worth not being able to have a quality of life when you get into your elderly years? You got to think about that. Because, you know, I was on the road on Thursday night. And I happened to get up around about 10 o'clock at night. And, you know, sometimes I sleep really good out on the road. When I'm out on the road driving. I got up on Thursday night and, you know, remembered that the football game was going on. So I turned on the football game for a little bit. It happens to be the time when he got hurt. I watched it. He didn't look good. You know, when he went down to the, position where he struggled to get up, and then he was in the fencing position with his hands and, looked like he was just unable to, just do anything. It's about that time. It's about that time. You know, I have, I just look at it this way. You know, I understand the money situation. But you got to remember your health. Your health is the most important thing. And hopefully for Tua, he can make a good decision. You know, the Dolphins should be able to do, what they can to make this right. I understand that, that's a lot of money that he will be walking out on. But you know what, Miami, won't you do the right thing and just say, hey, you know what? This is a guy that we really care about. And, you've seen his coach. Coach kissed him on top of his head. I mean, the coach, Mike McDaniel loved this kid. And he loves him to the point where he wants to see him, be able to function later on in life. So why not do the right thing and, maybe split the difference or so and make sure that Tua, doesn't really pick up another football, and run out there again to get hurt again. I look at it as a way of saying, hey, this guy's got to be safe. You got to be safe. You got to be thinking about your health. Your health is the main thing. Okay. All right. Well, that was going on, I did watch a little bit of college football. I watched the LSU come back. I watched Notre Dame pound the mess out of Purdue. Tennessee beating up on some other some other little school or whatever. Did get a chance to watch a little bit of Colorado State. I watched a little bit of everything. And like I said, it was one of those weekends where, if my team isn't playing, I know I'm not a real, I should be banned for saying this, but, it's like if Ohio State ain't playing, what's the use of watching, But, like I said, I can dip and dab and get into a couple other little ones. Little games or something. Because, like I said, if it ain't Ohio State, it ain't nothing. Even that other team from up north won this week. Yeah, they had to beat up on somebody. Had to pick a patsy to beat up on, right? All right, so like I said, I'm gonna make this really short and sweet today. All right, so unfortunately, on the other day, we lost a very, very special person in James Earl Jones. James Earl Jones was one of the greatest actors of all time. And from the Star Wars, the voice of Darth Vader, Darth Vader has got to be probably the biggest movie villain of all time. And, he didn't play the actor, he didn't play in the movie, but he played the voice of Darth Vader. Which is a cool thing because no one in this world will ever have a voice like James Earl Jones. He's known for movies, but he's also known for television. And here are some of the television shows that he actually played in. The Simpsons, Homicide, Life on the Street, The Big Bang Theory, According to Jim, House, Two and a Half Men, and he also played in the 1976 made-for-TV movie called Roots, which had a lot of famous African-American actors in there. We all know about his association with Star Wars. But I'm going to tell you, there's a lot of movies that James Earl Jones is known for. Like I said, Rogue One was one of them. The Lion King, he made a couple appearances in The Lion King. Coming to America, The Hunt for Red October, Field of Dreams. Now, I'm not even talking about sports movies right now because I got a couple of them here. Let's see. Warning Shot, Agent X, Gimme Shelter. Like I said, there's a lot of them. A lot of movies that we can talk about James Earl Jones in. Like I said, he played in a couple of sports movies as well. A couple of the sports movies that I remember him in were to me, they were classics. One of them was called The Bingo Long Traveling All-Stars and Motor Kings. And, he played Leon, I can't remember his last name, Leon Day or something like that. But he reminded me of a Babe Ruth, Josh Gibson type player that played his character in the movies. Now, the Bingo Long Traveling All Stars and Motor Kings featured a couple other most famous actors you probably remember: Billy D. Williams, Richard Pryor, along with James Earl Jones. One of the actors I got a chance to meet years ago, his name is Dwayne Jesse, and he plays Rainbow in the movie. A lot of these characters, a lot of this basically depicted on how the barnstorming days of the Negro Leagues was, and how they, basically had to barnstorm because the owners in the Negro National League wouldn't let them field a team. But at the end of the movie, if you get a chance to watch it, he actually gets a team in there with his all-stars, and he takes over one of the guys that basically didn't want him in that organization. It's a great movie. It's called The Bingo Long Traveling All-Stars and Motor Kings. He also played Paul Robeson, great American, played him. He also played a depiction of Jack Johnson in the movie The Great White Hope. And also, before we actually did have an African American president, there was a movie made back in 1972 called The Man, where he was a senator and he ended up being president of the United States. So James Earl Jones was a great actor. To the point where, if you didn't, see anything, or if you heard something on the radio or television, and you didn't watch it, you didn't know, you just closed your eyes, you knew that was James Earl Jones. The voice was just amazing. He was born on January 17th, 1931, and he passed away September 9th, 2024, at the age of 93. I don't really try to, it's kind of hard, for me to talk about passings and everything, because it's hard for me because of PTSD and some of the things that I've actually seen in my lifetime. But this was a special guy. He was a very special guy. Mark Hamill, who played Luke Skywalker, wrote, when he found out, or he heard the news, he just wrote, R.I.P. Dad, referring to his Star Wars father. James Earl Jones was an amazing actor, just amazing, and to the point where I feel as though that he was probably one of the greatest African American actors of all time. I'm not just, saying this just to be saying it. If you look back, you'll see Sidney Poitier. You'll also see James Earl Jones in there. Played in a couple movies I remember years and years back. Claudine was one of them, which was a very good movie. And like I said, there's a bunch of movies. His actual, if you look at his timeline, it goes back all the way from the 60s all the way up to the 2000s. 2000, say the 2022 was the last one where he actually did something that I can see of right now. And it's called Obi-Wan Kenobi. All right, let's play this little clip from IMBD on James Earl Jones. Give me a second here. There we go.
When I left you, I was but the learner. Now I am the master. I'm gonna fight! I got my turn to be the champion of the world! I'm taking my turn. This field, this game, it's a part of our past, Ray. Used to crowd the plates so the strike zone almost disappeared. The king's time as ruler rises and falls like the sun. One day, Simba, the sun will set on my time here and will rise with you as the new king. Your only job was to look after a king. How could you let him come to such a pass? You have a son. You have come to me, my son. I am the wellspring from which you flow. You gave your word to the people of the United States. Give yourself to the dark side. We are the United States government. We don't do that sort of thing. That torpedo did not self-destruct. You heard it hit the hull, and I was never here. I go ton for ton, load and cold, any man here. When I do, I spend the same dollar for the same work. No majority ever gave a minority a fair share of the loot without force. You must have learned a great deal more than you bargained for through this experience, Mr. Watson. And we're back to the income and the outcome and the deducting, and you try me to drink. You don't know nothing, baby. Major Khan, is it possible this is some kind of loyalty test? Obi-Wan never told you what happened to your father. I
James Earl Jones had a very, very great career. Some of the ones that were in there, in that little clip, I forgot to mention was Dr. Strangelove, you know, from year 1964, The Sandlot, Clear and Present Danger, Sneakers. There was a lot of clips in there from a lot of different movies that I didn't even get a chance to mention. But anyway, rest in peace to one of the greatest actors of all time and one of the greatest voices of all time, Mr. James Earl Jones. Okay, now before I get out of here, I'm going to give you a 6-pack of games that, you know, I'm going to pick this week. Last week didn't do so well, but then again, the guru always wins. All right, let me give you first the Raiders at the Ravens. The Ravens, I'll take them, and they will cover the 8.5 points. Washington is at home playing against the woeful Giants. 1.5, give me Washington. The Chargers on the road to play the Carolina Panthers. I don't think Carolina can win any games, even though I did just win with them on PS4, PS5 actually. I'm sorry. The Chargers are a 5-point favorite. Give me the Chargers. Jacksonville is at home, 3.5 points over Cleveland. Give me Jacksonville. Philadelphia on Monday night, they are a 6.5 point favorite. Philadelphia should win. Detroit is a 7.5 point favorite over Tampa Bay. Give me Detroit. So I got Ravens, Washington, Chargers, Detroit, Philadelphia, and Jacksonville. All right, folks, that's it for me. I'm going to get out of here. Short show. You guys take care of yourself, and please, remember James Earl Jones. Take care of yourself, and we will see you back here next week for 236. The Guru is out.